On Thursday, in an appearance on CNN with host Jake Tapper, former Republican Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, and also a former ally of Donald Trump when he was in office, Paul Ryan said that Donald Trump is, quote, a proven loser. And he also said that he's pretty sure the party's like moving on from Trump. But, you know, the proven loser thing is really the main part. Let me read you what Paul Ryan said. He's fading fast. He is a proven loser. He cost us the House in 18. He cost us the White House in 20. He cost us the Senate again and again. I think we're moving past Trump. I really think that's the case. I can't imagine him getting the nomination, frankly. All right, you know what? I was agreeing with you until you added that second part. Like, we're moving past him. Like, he's in the rearview mirror. I don't even know who he is. The fight that took place just a week ago in the House of Representatives between the diehard MAGA freaks and Kevin McCarthy, yeah, that kind of proves that your party's not moving past him. Now, they should. And I think that's probably what you're meaning to say. Like, that's what you want to happen. But just because you want it to happen doesn't mean it actually is happening. So, you know, you can have all that wishful optimism that you want, but your party is very clearly not moving away from Donald Trump. But here's the thing. Paul Ryan actually did come out back in October before the midterms, and he talked about how Donald Trump's, quote, unelectability will be palpable by the time the election rolled around. And in the midterms, of course, that was pretty obvious, with most of Donald Trump's handpicked candidates losing badly. And so he was right about that. So could he be right? Like, could he be correct that the Republican Party is actually moving past Trumpism? Depends on what you define as the Republican Party, I think. Because again, as Paul Ryan says, the party's moving past it. And then as I just said, the speaker fight last week shows that they're not moving past it. But there could be a scenario where both of us are correct. And here is that scenario. And it all comes down to what your definition of the Republican Party is. If you're looking at the voters out there in America, the ones who did reject Trump's handpicked candidates in these last midterms, then yeah, they're moving on past Trump. But if you're talking about the people with actual power, like I referenced, they're not moving on at all. They're doubling and tripling down on it. So you do have this divide. And I do think, for the most part, a lot of voters in this country have moved past Trump. They're moving past Trumpism. They're rejecting it. But they're still putting people in power who are either overt or closeted Trumpists, and they're bringing that "we love MAGA" mentality to Washington, D.C., preventing the actual party apparatus itself from moving on from Donald Trump. So there is, I think, a distinct difference there. But I also think something else is happening. I think Paul Ryan wants to run for president. You know, he left. He was buddy-buddy with Trump in the first 2 years of the administration. Paul Ryan didn't seek re-election in 2018, so he left Congress after the blue wave because he didn't want to have to face that. He got that tax cut package that he wanted, that Trump wanted, that corporations wanted, that the donors wanted. And then he said, sweet, I'm out. See you later. Got what I wanted. But I think now he's trying to position himself once more as a voice of reason in the Republican Party, as the more sensible alternative. And there's really only one reason to do that, right? Like, you don't need to put yourself out there unless you want something out of it. And I think that's what Paul Ryan wants. And I think it's definitely somebody to keep an eye on as we inch closer and closer to more Republicans throwing their hat into the ring for 2024. I think Paul Ryan has his hat in hand and he's pulling it back, ready to toss it in. He's just waiting for the right opportunity. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.